Finally tired of doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results? Well, this show is going to help you change your life for the better. Strap on your seatbelt and navigate this roller coaster we call life with human potential expert and best-selling author Dr. Verna Price. Each week, Dr. Verna blesses you with her virtues to live your best life so you can be the best you that you can be.
Welcome back to Dr. Verna's Virtues. For those of you who are brand new, welcome. Please listen in and tell your friends and tell your family. And I'm glad to have you all back. All right. So this week we're going to talk about what does it mean to be plugged in the right places and with the right people. To be plugged in. But before we start, let's go ahead and start with our affirmation. We're going to start with the change affirmation because you're going to have to change some things when we're done with this podcast. All right, you ready? Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. You ready? Okay, here we go. This is my life, and I get to change it. When I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. And that makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. And when I talk about extremely powerful, that's exactly what I'm talking about today. So a couple of weeks ago, I was busy working and getting things done and, making sure I was multitasking. And so I'd seasoned up some chicken because I was going to make some curry chicken. And I'd gotten the crock pot out and I'd gotten it all together, seasoned it all up, and then I plugged in the crock pot. So then I thought I was good. Dinner was good, just fine. So I finished up with my kids. Everyone got to school. My husband took the kids to school. I got out of the house. I went to my office. So then later in the afternoon, when the kids are back home from school, I get this call. And it's from my son, Cornelius. And he said, Mom, he said, I thought you were making curry chicken. And I said, well, yes, I did make curry chicken. And he said, well, it's not cooked, Mom. It's still cold. And I thought, what are you talking about? It's still cold. I seasoned it. I put it in the crock pot and I plugged it in. I know I plugged it in. So I thought, well, this is a mystery. So after I finished work, I came home. I go over to the kitchen and sure enough, there is a cord plugged in. But it's not the crock pot cord. It's the electric tea kettle cord. So here were these two things. Crock pot was right next to the tea kettle. And somehow those cords got kind of intertwined. So instead of me plugging in the crock pot, I actually was plugging in the teapot. So it looked like I had plugged into the right place. I'd done all the work. I'd seasoned it. It was ready to go. And then I thought I had plugged in the correct plug into the right place. But the truth of the matter is I'd done all that preparation and there it's set and the thing still wasn't cooked. Why? Because I had the wrong thing plugged in. I did not take my time. Keep that in mind. That's a word. Take your time. I didn't slow down enough to double check to make sure that crock pot was the plug that went to the crock pot that I could then plug into the wall. As a result, I had done all the work. It looked on the outside like I should have had dinner ready by the time I got home. But instead, the food was still in the crock pot. It was still cold. Nothing was cooked. And I had plugged in the wrong cord. And I thought to myself, wow, what a lesson that is for our lives. What a piece of wisdom for our lives. Question, have you plugged into the right places? Are you plugged into the right people? You've done all this preparation. You've gotten the education. You've gotten the experience. You think you know the right people, but then are you plugged into the right place? Could it be that you're not growing, you're not thriving, you're not prospering because you're plugged into the wrong place? Could it be that you're mixing up yourself with other people? And the truth of the matter is that you're not the one plugged in. You plugged them in instead of plugging in yourself. Could it be that you did not take the time to make sure that you are plugged into the right people and the right places? Have you mixed up your chords? Have you paid attention? Have you slowed down enough to make sure that it is completely done? So I had to think about it. I had to think about who am I plugged into? Where am I plugged in? Have I done the preparation? Am I ready to go? And after I'm ready to go, did I plug into the right place and the right people? So how do you know that you're plugging into the right place and the right people? One, are they aligned with your values, whoever you're plugging into? And when I say plugged in, I'm talking about connecting to. No one does anything by themselves. We all need somebody. We all need a collaborative, a partnership. We all need a team. Everyone thrives because they have a team. And so if your team is not on the same page with your values, you're plugged into the wrong team. Are they aligned with your values? Do they have the same vision? If you are partnered and collaborating with people whose vision is to go to New York, but your vision is to go to California, you're plugged into the wrong people. Whose vision is to make something happen and get out of poverty and to prosper, or whose vision is to just get by and just make it, you're plugged into the wrong people. Are you plugged into people who are aligned with your vision? Are you plugged into people who are aligned with your passion? What does that mean? That you need someone who is at the same level of passion that you have. Do they have fire for the work that you want to do, right? So you think you're plugging into them, but the truth is that there's no power there at all. And as a result, guess what happens? Nothing gets happened with your stuff. Nothing happens. It's just sitting there on the counter and it will never get done. Why? Because you are plugged into the wrong place. And or guess what? You thought that you were plugging in, but the truth is that the source where you plugged into had no power at all. Like, have you plugged into someone or somewhere and you thought they had some power, or they promised you they could get you here and get you there? But the truth of the matter is they had no decision power. They had no resources, and they couldn't get you any farther than they were themselves. As a matter of fact, they were probably wanting you to be the power source for them. And here you are, you plugged into that. But the truth of the matter is that they have no power and they cannot get you anywhere. Are you plugged into people who believe in you, who believe in where you're going, who believe in who you are, who believe in your vision, who believe in your capacity to make things happen? Are you plugged into those people? Or are you plugged into people who are always second guessing you, who always wonder, is it going to happen? Can she do it? Can he do it? Will it happen? You're plugged into the wrong people. Or maybe you're plugged into the wrong places. Maybe you're simply in the wrong place. Maybe it's not an environment where aligns with your values and your mission and your vision and your passion. Maybe it's not an environment that can even handle your level of power. And as a result, guess what? Nothing happens with your stuff. It just sits there. So here's my question to you today. Have you slowed down enough to make sure that you've done your work to assess if you are plugged into the right people and the right places? And if you're not plugged into the right people and the right places, let me just tell you, just like I did with my crock pot. I disconnected the cord. I organized the cords. I make sure that the cord to the kettle was over one way and the crock pot was the other. And then I took my time and I made sure that I plugged it into the right source. You might have to go back a few steps and reassess and recommit and redefine. You may have to do some rework to what? Get plugged into the right place and to get plugged into the right people. Why? Because you're already prepared. You already have it ready to go. Now it's just getting to the right power source. And make sure that your power source, your personal power, is connected into a power source of power, of personal power that can either match yours and or is greater than yours, because that's when the power work, that's when the connection work. Make sure you're plugged in to the right people and to the right places. All right. Thanks for joining me today for Dr. Verna's Virtues. Be sure to listen in, subscribe, tell your friends, and learn more about me at drvernaprice.com. And lots going on there. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Let's finish up with our affirmation. I'm going to go back to the change affirmation again, because I want you doing some work and getting plugged in to the right people and the right places. Are you ready? This is my life, and I get to change it when I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. And that makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Get caught up on previous episodes of Dr. Verna's Virtues at ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com.